Good morning, brothers, and thank you, Mike, for this continued teaching on Galatians 1, chapter 10, about being a bond slave of Jesus Christ. And the question, are you a bond slave of Jesus Christ? And I love the illustration, the one that doesn't want to leave. I love my master, and I don't want to leave. Going before the judges, take him and pierce him in public. And, I do love being a bond slave of Jesus Christ. And I love how he was a bond slave for me. Trapped. We needed to be rescued. We were slaves. We were slaves to our sin and had no hope of rescue. There was no one to help. There really was no one to help. We needed Christ. We needed hope. We needed to be cleansed on the inside. We needed the chains to fall off, not externally, but internally. Literal spiritual chains that were wrapped around us. And yet, we gave up the slavery of sin for the slavery of freedom, to be a bond servant of Christ. And there we don't want to leave, because we know what is out in the wilderness. We know that nothing is good out there but hunger and thirst and destruction. But at the cross, we see Jesus, the door, hanging on the door frame of the cross, being pierced and hung for us, becoming our bond slave, so that we can be circumcised in heart, receive the deposit of the Spirit, the guarantee of our inheritance. And I just love that. I love that. Just as Thomas, we need to look at Jesus. We need to look and see the scars and marks, the price of purchase, the love in his hands. He gave up his life for us, and he has the marks and the scars to prove it. And when we see the cross, when we look at the cross and we see the love of Christ being nailed there, when we see his wounds that are our healing balm, when we see that, what does it do? Like Thomas, it produces worship and washing. It brings worship out of us, and it brings a washing in us and over us and around us. We're cleansed and set free. Even though we're a bond servant, we're free. We're free to go in and out in his pasture. And I love how it says, most assuredly in John 10, most assuredly I say to you, he who does not enter the sheepfold by the door, but climbs up some other way, the same as a thief and robber. Then Jesus said to them again, most assuredly I say to you, I am the door of the sheep. All who ever come before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. I am the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved, and will go in and out and find pasture. We find pasture, we find rest for our souls. He makes me lie down in green pastures. The cross is our anchor. The cross is the doorway. And we must enter through the door of the work of Christ, the finished work of Christ. And I'm just so thankful for these studies. I'm so thankful to be a bond servant and a bond slave of Christ. Yeah, there's temptation and sin, and we stumble and fall in many ways, but there is no such life or peace or hope or forgiveness or washing or real freedom or real love found in anything else, found anywhere else. And my marriage never had, and my life never had anything of value prior to Christ, really. It is only in Christ that I've known love, right? This is love. Not that we loved God, but that he loved us. And isn't that true? Isn't that so true? Jesus loved us to death. He's the only one that has ever done that. And he's the only way to be rescued, saved, brought out of ourselves, where we can be crucified with Christ and raised to live new lives. And we are happy slaves of Christ and outcasts to the world, but accepted by the Father through Christ, given the Spirit. And now we have power to say no to ungodliness and to live new lives. Power to walk in the Spirit and not in the flesh. And we have this hope rooted and grounded for us in Jesus Christ, his death and resurrection. I love you, brothers, and I hope to hear from some of you.